And all. This is Yashwant from BA second year. Today, I would like to say about a person from United States. Most of us don't know about him. Uh, he's known as father of atomic bombs. He is J. Robert Oppenheimer, called international. He's internationally well-known person. Is not in United States. Like he's called, as I said, father of atomic bombs. He's the one who is behind the Manhattan Project, where America planned a nuclear attack on Japan when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in in the end of Second World War. Uh, Here, what I want to say is this guy Robert Oppenheimer as appointed as the chief of Manhattan Project before by the United States government. He asked the government for 1 year leave because he don't have that much of confidence to handle the project, and he asked the leave to learn Sanskrit. He interested to come to India, and he is interested to learn Sanskrit, and he wanted to uh, mm,
Unmute. I can't hear.
Continue. He wanted to do what?
See, he has muted himself. Ask him to unmute.
Yashwant?
sorry, ma'am. Like a small problem here. That's why it's not.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
So he wanted to
Uh,
learn Sanskrit. There we stop.
Yeah, he wanted to learn Sanskrit because he believed that in Bhagavad Gita there is he can get lot of confidence to handle the project, and there is lot of management skills and personality development skills where everyone can gather confidence and management when we are doing big issues were dealing with some important projects, etc. So he came to India around in 1943 and learned Sanskrit and read Bhagavad Gita in India, and finally went back to US, and then he started working on Manhattan Project. At that and finally the project demo has taken place in New Mexico in 1945 uh, July, and the attack on Hiroshima and Nagasaki taken place in 1945 August. So this why I am telling this is because he came to India, and he who is a person from United States came to India and learned Sanskrit and read Bhagavad Gita and went back to his country, and the project was given to him is very successful because he read Bhagavad Gita here. Because even in long back 1945, internationally our book Bhagavad Gita is well-known book as it is a personality development, or in many ways the book is very famous and long back itself. But even today, we Indians, lot of us think it is a religious book, and that book most of us don't read that book, and that's and in even at present for MBA students in many European universities has mandated Bhagavad Gita for as a important academic uh, text in the MBA students, because if we did Bhagavad Gita, there is lot of skills, management skills, confidence, at the same time, complete personality development is there in that book. So I would like to conclude with it is very important to read Bhagavad Gita. It is not like that. It's not at all a religious book. It is not at all a spirituality. It's not about Lord Sri Krishna. It's not about something else. It's a completely. My opinion is that it's a completely personality development book. Even I'm saying to you all, but even I don't have a habit of reading, but I am thinking to make a habit. So anyhow, it's such kind of things. It take time to habituate it. So it's a request to all of you to start reading Bhagavad Gita, and it's not at all a religious book, and it's not at all anything about Lord Sri Krishna. Without a religion or any beyond, it is not a, it's beyond religion, it's beyond something else, and we have to make it as a habit of reading Bhagavad Gita, and open man, that scientist where I said open is a good example of is a the best example for us why we should read Bhagavad Gita. And in last 2 years when I worked with Rubero, the most major outcome what I learned is uh, in they also has insisted that Bhagavad Gita is such a book that that must be learned, and that must be preached. So we will get lot of self-confidence, and in future if we got any big projects, and if we are manage any um, people, if we get any big important dealings with any issues or anything, we will be able to make it perfect, successful. When we have only self-confidence, personality development, and stability of mind, everything, all that according to my opinion is that if we read Bhagavad Gita, then we can get all the things, all kind of personally we can develop. That's all. Thank you.
Very, Yashwant, a very good presentation, and I totally agree with you when you say that in most American and European universities you have it prescribed as a text. Liberal art studies itself means, using what for us it may be a religious text, but every book, whether it is the Bible, whether it is the Ramayana, Mahabharata, or the Gita, or the Quran, they are three-pronged. One, they are a religious text. One, it's a historical document. And then the third, what Yashwant said today, it teaches you life skills, whether it is the Bible, whether it is the Quran, whether it is the Ramayana. And so all of us, not only the Gita, we should also read Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Bible, and the Quran, and even the Buddhist and Jain literature, Zoroastrian, because you get three perspectives. One, it is a historical chronicle. It is the history of the people, okay? Historical perspective you get. Then, of course, the religious perspective, which we are all aware of. And then every book is a document of life skills. You know, you see stress management, you see time management, you see endurance test. And like he said, we can gather so much of information and use it in our daily lives, you know. So very good presentation. And just like you are concentrating on Gita, maybe you should make a presentation on Quran and the Bible also. Okay,
actually,
so
I thought of making that also. So again, I forgot the points. And
make it. So now good. We know the Gita is a very important historical document, religious document, and a life skills document. Look at the Bible and the Quran also. Then, you know, you have a perspective, a complete, like how all these religious books, you know, lend itself to multiple readings. And like he rightly said, it is a prescribed text. It's a text. It's not a religious text. And I think Bangla ma'am and Suchitra ma'am, I'm of course a Christian, but then Suchitra ma'am and Bangla ma'am are not Christians. When we majored in English literature, reading the Bible as a text was part of the curriculum, because most of the writers are Christian writers, and you know, English literature very heavily weighs on the Bible. You know, like Paradise Lost and all. If you don't know the Bible, you don't know what they're talking about. Similarly, in the 90s, when we were doing our MA and MPhil, Indian English was introduced, Indian writing in English. And then we had to read Mahabharata and Ramayana and the Gita to know references. Okay. And when you read a Muslim writer, then you need to know that background also. So when for liberal arts, these texts, whether it is the Quran and all, Bible or Gita or Ramayana, don't become religious texts. It is study material and very good this thing. And I think during the COVID times, we can read. Our country is the, what do you call it, cradle of civilization, and so many religions have come out of it. We should read texts on Buddhism, Jainism, historically, religiously, and as life skill tests. Very good. So I expect you to do something on Quran and the Bible also, or Mahabharata and Ramayana.
Like my opinion is that, ma'am, it's no need to read complete text also.
Yeah,
We can read a gist. We can read the gist of every text.
Absolutely, a gist, an overview, and then what comes out of it. Very good, very good. Teachers.
I totally agree with Anita ma'am, because let me tell you, I have read the Gita, I read the Bible, and I have even read the Quran. And what I felt was that all these three books are it tells us about the way of life, how we need to lead our life. So it's not just our Gita, but all the holy books are nothing but they are guidance to us to how we should lead our lives. So yeah, as ma'am said, we should read everything, not just one book and have our opinions, but let us read in this time. This is the right time. COVID-19 has given you an opportunity to read the Bible. As she said, when we were doing literature, I had to do, we had to go through Bible, and if we don't read the Bible, we cannot even understand the books or poems that were written during that time. So yeah, I do agree with that, and I even read Quran, because Quran and the Christian Bible is closely related, whereas Quran follows the Old Testament and Christians follow the New Testament. So we need to know all this because they're all way of life. Like you say, in India, as you said, Bhagavad Gita talks about life skills. Mahabharata talks about the political scenario, how we should engage ourselves.
Ramayana will say how we should be, and
Ramayana is all about relationships. It's all about relationships with your brother, relationships with your wife and husband, and how a king should rule, and parents, right? So it is all about. So all the religious books teach us that. I think good topic you have raised, and it's a good thing for every one of us. Let us take this opportunity to read. Otherwise, your presentation was really good.
And I also, since it's a small group and you boys are interested, and especially Yashwant and even Arindam and all, Teju, read Homer's Iliad and Odyssey also, Greek mythology, and draw a comparison between our Ramayana and Iliad. You will see it is almost so, when we were doing English literature, there was this theory that, it is the same story. Iliad and Ramayana are the same story. You have a king abducting the queen, and then, the husband gathering this. So if you have time, don't have to read the whole thing, read the gist. You read the Ramayana and read the Iliad. Read Odyssey. You will see similarities, and that's why they say that it was like there was just one civilization, and then it fragmented and moved to different parts, whether it was the Greek or whether they moved to Egypt. And then, the mythology developed according to the locale, the setting, the milieu. So read that also, because you boys are interested in reading. So I would suggest do Ramayana and Iliad and see the comparison, see the similarities.
Can you
as
repeat the
ma'am
word?
said, I think the Greek books and Indian civilization match a lot.
Yes,
there is one book I would suggest by James Fraser, The Golden Bough, which is completely about Greek mythology. When you look at the Greek mythology, you find same Achilles, who is the greatest, what do you say, archer, just like Arjuna. You have so many similarities which match. So at one time, you don't know which one is the are Ramayana and Mahabharata characters, and just the names change, they are in the Greek mythology. So when you do this study, you will know that all civilizations have had these stories, and these stories have a way of influencing the human life. So try to read this, James
And
Fraser's The
it's
Golden
remarkable, the Indian civilization, we talk about the Aryan invasion and all. Did they come from there and did they bring the story along with them? Or did we go there to the Greece and did we take the story? So it's like fascinating, because it's the same
similarities
story.
are
So read Iliad by Homer and Ramayana and then
they're very
Mahabharata,
close in
and
there.
then, like ma'am said, Fraser's Golden Bough. You will see so many similarities that that the world is like one. It was one place. I mean, you really start thinking, how the civilizations have developed. Do it because you have the time and you are interested. And Yashwant is a history student also, so very, very important.
Ma'am, what's the book you said, Anita ma'am, that
Homer is the writer. Okay, he's an old Greek writer. And Iliad, Iliad, Iliad. And he has also written Odyssey. That is another. These are epics. Like these are the Greek epics. Like Ramayana and Mahabharata are Indian epics. Iliad and Odyssey are Greek epics. And you will see the similarity between Iliad and our Ramayana. It's almost a similar story. Okay, and then after the war, Odysseus makes this journey, and that journey, like it's almost like our Gita, Krishna and Arjuna on that chariot. It's all, you can draw parallels. It may not be word to word, but there are parallels. Okay, so it will be very interesting.
Like it
You don't have to read the whole thing.
Swargarohana Parva of Mahabharata. Odyssey relates to the Swargarohana Parva, that episode in Mahabharata. You can find lots of similarities. So
you read a abridged version on the internet, and if you are interested, then go to the text. Those are also available as ebooks. So who's making the press? Very nice, very, very interesting. See, we want topics like this where we can think and you all can think, and we can give you all information to carry this further. That's where this platform becomes so interesting. Okay, very good.